We're very pleased to have Coach Ron Polk here. He's agreed to be our banquet speaker tonight. He's not charged a speaker's fee, so that hopefully we can generate funds for both our programs. We appreciate this gesture on his behalf. He has brought several copies of his book, The Baseball Playbook. This book is the leading textbook on coaching and playing baseball, selling a little over 105,000 copies. It is a 520-page book that is for both coaches and players. It is an instrumental manual that outsold all other baseball textbooks by 4 to 1. His book retails in all book-selling markets for close to $30, but at this banquet, this book will cost just $15. All the books for sale tonight have been pre-autographed by Coach Polk, and he will personalize each book sold as you leave the banquet tonight. We have a person assigned to be at a table next to Coach Polk as you leave. That person will make change and will accept checks made out to our speaker once you pick up a book. Bring it to Coach Polk at the exit door, and it will be personalized. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We're both excited. The baseball and softball teams are excited for the opportunity to gather together to open our 2016 season. At this time, I'd like Coach Vincent to introduce softball coaches and players.
I also want to say thank you to coming and supporting the softball program as well as the baseball program, and a big thanks to Coach Lair and the baseball team for letting us be a part of this. And a big thank you to you, Coach Polk, for being here. At this time, I would like for all the softball players to stand up, please. We just opened up Saturday. We had a exhibition game. We played 2 4-inning games. We won 1, lost 1. We have 6 seniors this year. We have 6 juniors, 5 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and we also have 3 8th graders. In addition to this team, we have 2 new coaches. We have a first-year teacher, Coach Witten. Would you stand up, please? And we also have a volunteer paraprofessional, Coach Ross. Will you stand up, please? Without these girls and without these coaches, there is no program here. So let's give them a round of applause, please. In addition to playing and coaching, there's all sorts of things that go on behind the scenes. And I want to give a big, huge thank you to my booster club, Denise Stringfellow, Christy Casey, Dawn Sandifer, and Amy Coates. They do the legwork for the majority of the things that go on here. And so a huge thank you to you. And a big thank you to my husband. It's not easy to play for me, and it is certainly not easy to live with me. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy the speaker.
I'd like to also begin tonight by thanking my family, my wife and kids, for all the support and encouragement they give, not only to myself, but also the program as a whole. Once again, it's a full-time job when you're a spouse of a coach. Obviously, you hear a lot of things that come from the field. Sometimes we try not to do that, but they are a sounding board sometimes. So I want to say I thank you for all of them, especially when you get messages from your kids and they're telling you, giving you words of encouragement, especially before a ball game, and you're antsy to get started, and they just calm you down a lot of times. So I thank them for that. Next, I would like to introduce our 2 coaches, Coach Haley and Coach Littlejohn. I don't know, where are they located? Coach Haley and Coach Littlejohn here. Thank you for all the work and effort you give to our team. I know it's a thankless job sometimes, but I appreciate it. I would also like to thank our parents for allowing us to spend time with your kids. As we all know, being a parent is best described by the Army when they say it's not just a job, it's an adventure. So every time we go out and we have a different adventure every day, we know that it takes everybody to help raise these kids. So thank you for allowing us to do that on a daily basis. I'd also like to thank our booster club, our officers, and our parents. It takes a maximum effort to build a successful program and maintain a successful program. It's not just a one-time thing, it's a every year thing. And so each year we ask our parents to help out, and they come through just about with full force every year. So I want to thank them for that. Also at this time, I'd like to ask our team to stand up when I call the groups. We have 9 seniors, so if my seniors would stand up. We have 6 juniors, 13 sophomores, 10 freshmen, and 10 8th graders. And this is your 2016 Hernando Tigers. That's a large group, and I've said this before, continue to say this, and Coach Vincent and I compete about this every year, it seems like, and I think I win more than she does. But our grade point average is somewhere around, we maintain it for 40-something guys at about a 3.3 to 3.5 grade point average. That is the pride of this program right here. All the success that we have on the field is great, but it all starts in the classroom, and it's good to have a competition among the guys with that. So I'm very, very proud of them for doing that each and every year. Tonight we welcome a speaker that has given a great deal of service to baseball in not only the state of Mississippi, but also to baseball throughout the United States. He is a baseball legend and Hall of Famer who helped lead the Mississippi State Bulldog baseball team to success in and year out, beginning in 1975, until his retirement following the Bulldog run to the College World Series in 1997. He returned to Mississippi State in 2002, serving as a head baseball coach until leaving again in 2008. In addition to serving as the Bulldogs head coach, he also served as a head coach at Georgia Southern University and the University of Georgia. He is the winningest coach in all sports in Southeastern Conference history, compiling 1,218 wins. In 35 years, Coach Polk has won 1,373 games as a head coach. 187 of his former players have signed professional baseball contracts. 26 of these players have played in the major leagues. He had 35 All-Americans and 76 All-SEC players. 8 players picked in the first round in the professional baseball draft while he was at MSU. He's one of only 3 coaches in college baseball history to coach at 3 different schools that have played in the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. He is currently the 7th winningest coach in the history of NCAA Division I college baseball. He is a member of the Georgia Southern University Hall of Fame, American Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame, State of Mississippi Athletic Hall of Fame, Mississippi State University Athletic Hall of Fame, National College Baseball Hall of Fame. He has been named NCAA Regional Coach of the Year 4 times and SEC Coach of the Year 5 times. He is a 1988 Lefty Gomez Award recipient, which is the highest award given by the American Baseball Coaches Association. Mississippi State University named the baseball stadium the Polk Stadium in 1997. He authored 2 textbooks, the Baseball Playbook, which will be available after he speaks tonight, and the Baseball Softball Playbook. He also co-authored the Baseball Coaching Bible. He is currently a volunteer assistant coach at the University of Alabama in Birmingham. It is my honor and privilege to introduce tonight's guest speaker, Coach Ron Polk.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel like I'm speaking to the Missouri Tigers in the SEC here. I think you all stole their logo or else they stole yours. I'm not sure. Good-looking boys. Got one with a tattoo here, I see. That's great. That's great. Proud of that. Hey, it's great to be here. And 50 years of coaching college baseball at my age is great being anywhere, right? Hey, that was a great introduction, Coach Larry. I appreciate it. I think the best one I've ever had was a couple of weeks ago at a banquet. The MC didn't show up, and I got to introduce myself, and I thought I did a pretty good job of that. But, yeah, I'll tell you what, I've been around the block. 7 tours with the national team, and now I coach up in the Cape Cod League also, where all the best college baseball players play in the summer, and with the Highness Ball Club. So I'm staying active, and with Brian Shoup, my longtime assistant coach at Mississippi State, he asked me to come over and be a full-time coach, even though I'm the volunteer coach at UAB. So I'm still active and still enjoy being around kids and being able to do some banquets that I wasn't able to take when I was a head coach because I was much busier than I am as a volunteer coach. But, I'm getting up in years. In fact, the other day I went to a meeting and there was a pro scout there. And he was getting up in years too. And I said, Joe, it's great to see you. He said, Ron, it's great to be seen and not viewed. Some of you older people understand what I'm talking about. But it's great to be with Coach Vincent and Coach Lara, the girls and boys of the Tigers of Hernando High School. And before I start, I want to make sure with 3 Mississippi State guys here that were involved with me when I was at Mississippi State. You can imagine all the different teams I've had. now with the Cape and 7 tours with the national team. Just about everywhere I go, I see some of my guys, and some I haven't seen in a while, but Roger Smith is running the audio here tonight. He was a manager with us at Mississippi State, lives in Sardis. And then we have Kevin Donovan right here, a left-handed pitcher for us. And he wasn't very good, but he's here tonight. I still remember going out there, Kevin, one time when you saw me walking towards you, and you said, "Coach, I'm not tired, but see, our outfielders are running all over the outfield." And I said to him, "Hey, I need the ball." He said, "Coach, I'm not tired." I said, "Kevin, I know you're not tired, but our outfielders are exhausted." I asked the catcher, "What's Kevin throwing today?" He said, "Coach, I don't know. I haven't caught a ball yet." And we have Mike Riley. Where's Mike at? Mike, stand up, Mike. I want you to see how big you are. He came to us and looked like a Greek god. Now he looks like a Greek restaurant. He was an all-around athlete for us. Now he's just all around. His son Austin's here, first-round draft pick of the. Let's stand up and get an applause. Give Austin a hand. Very soon, Austin will report to Atlanta Braves spring training camp, and we wish you the very best, big guy. I'm proud of you and happy for you and being a first-round draft pick. There's only 30 of those guys every year. It's quite an honor. But Coach Lair and I worked this out for me to be here tonight. My voice gets a little raspy. Believe it or not, this is my 27th banquet in the last month and a half. And I got 2 more to go, Tupelo High School next week, and I'm in Georgia the week after. And I do this because I care about kids, and I care about their parents, and care about the coaches, and if I can help them make any money at all with their program, that's what it's all about. But we worked this date out, and we finally figured out a time that I could do this. And he said to me, "Now, Coach, I understand from your friends that you believe in the Constitution." I said, "Yeah, for sure." He said, "Now, my friends also say you believe in the Bill of Rights." I said, "Yes, for sure." "And my friends also say you believe in free speech." I said, "Coach, I really do." And he said, "Great, you're giving a free speech in Hernando, Mississippi on this particular night." There's no place else I'd rather be with these young ladies on the softball team and the baseball team here and the coaches. And how many parents do we have? Raise your hand if you're, look at that. We got a great group of parents here, which shows a lot to me and these kids that you're present for their preseason banquet and the fact that I have a chance to be here tonight with you all. But when I came in, I brought some of the books, but I'm not going to talk about my books. There were 2 adults that were in the back here, and they were talking. They didn't know I was there. And one of them said to the other, "Who's speaking tonight?" I thought that'd be interesting to hear what he said. The other guy said, "Oh, some old college baseball coach from Mississippi State." So I leaned in a little more, and he said, the other guy said, "You know, most college coaches at Mississippi State are idiots." So I went up to him and said, "I resent that." He said, "Why, are you a coach from Mississippi State?" I said, "No, I'm an idiot." So where's the Ole Miss baseball players here? The guys that came up to visit? Yeah, stand up. Stand up. Tell her, yeah. Even Ole Miss coaches come out to see me. I appreciate you guys doing that. I really enjoyed beating you every year. But anyway, guys and girls, I guess what you call me is your after-dinner speaker, and in this beautiful auditorium and beautiful school, and I'm sure the boys and girls are saying, "How long is this going to last?" I do not bore people when I speak, all right? Believe me. In fact, I kind of follow what Henry VIII said to his 9th wife. "I will not be keeping you long tonight," okay? But at the same time, I think I have a pertinent message for you as you start your season. I know the girls have already played 2 games and the boys have played in the Jamboree. And so what I do every time I speak, because otherwise I get bored, I always handwrite my notes to give to Joan, who's an administrative assistant in our UAB baseball office, and I always say the same thing to her. "Joan, here's my handwritten notes. I'm speaking in Hernando, Mississippi at Hernando Tigers baseball thing, and type it up for me so I can read it." And she did. And I always say to her, "Now listen, If you see anything that's boring as you type it up, don't put it on paper, all right? Do not, please. And so she prepared my presentation for tonight. So in conclusion, it's been great being here tonight. It's time to go home. But I get received most places very well when I speak. Oxford, Mississippi, I've spoken there several times at different events up there. And I think the first time I spoke up there, I was a little concerned because I was a head coach at Georgia, Bulldogs, Mississippi State, 31 years, Bulldogs. And I've been up to Swayze Field hundreds of times. And so, there's a rivalry. There's no question about it. I was involved with the Arizona State rivalry when I coached the University of Arizona. And I'm in Georgia. I mean, there's all kinds of rivalry. This is intense. This is an intense rivalry. And so I remember the first time I was to speak up there in Oxford, Mississippi. I was speaking at the First Baptist Church, the Sunday night church service. And I wasn't really sure how I was going to be received. Now, the Baptists of Mississippi, as in Alabama, where I live now in Birmingham, have those large marquees advertising the sermon for the day. So I wasn't really sure about how it would be received, but I really got concerned when I turned the corner and saw the First Baptist Church there, that big sign, marquee, saying the sermon for today is, "Do you know what hell is?" And right below it said, "Come and hear Ron Polk speak tonight." Welcome to Oxford, Mississippi, right? Guys and girls, can you realize in 50 years of coaching college baseball how many planes I've been on? Huh? How many hotels I've been in? I'm in a conference right now. Conference USA runs from Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, to Norfolk, Virginia, to Miami, Florida. That's why they call it Conference USA. We span the globe. Can you imagine how many bus rides I've been on? Imagine how many times I've signed kids in their homes or in schools, how many in-house visits I've had, how many recruiting trips I've had, how many junior college and high school games I've seen. I'm not a good traveler anymore. I'm not really good at all. I'm not scared of flying. I mean, it's just boring to me, to be honest with you. A few weeks ago, I was to speak in Charlotte, North Carolina at a big banquet over there, and I live in Birmingham now, and I got a 4 o'clock wake-up call, and had to be at the airport, 6 o'clock flight. Anybody here work for Delta Airlines? Good. It's always late. That 6 o'clock flight from Birmingham to Atlanta is always late. Nothing unusual, but I was upset because I looked at the monitor when I got on air late. And I had a tight connection in Atlanta to get me to Charlotte. I started thinking about renting a car because there's a possibility I missed that flight from Atlanta to Charlotte. They don't have a speaker that night. So I was irritated. I was upset, and I normally don't get too upset, but I get upset sometimes because I don't want to miss anything that I'm obligated to be at. So things did not start out very good that morning, as you can imagine. I was a little cranky, and nothing got any better as the morning went on. As an example, I went up and bought a Birmingham News and USA Today at the Hudson News, and all the terminals now, Hudson News is everywhere. And I got a USA Today and a Birmingham News, and I picked it up, gave it to the lady, and she gave it back to me. I gave her the money. She made me change. And I said to her, "Thank you, ma'am," when she gave me the papers. She didn't say a word to me. And I said to her, "Ma'am, I just thanked you for this transaction. Aren't you going to thank me?" You know what she said to me? "It's on your receipt." It was. I said, "Oh, I am so sorry. Here's your thank you." That started the day bad, okay? Go down to the gate. Other planes were late, packed. Not a seat to be had. I'm talking about wall to wall except one seat in the back. And I started walking toward it because I'm getting up in years. I'm in good shape, but I started walking to that only seat. To my right, I saw a lady walking in the same direction. And I looked at her, and she looked like a middle linebacker for the New England Patriots. Massive, massive. And I could see she was picking up the pace. I walked faster. I beat her. And I sat down, and I looked up, and she was right in front of me. She took up the whole area. And she had her arms crossed, and I got the worst look I've ever had in my life. And I looked up to her and said, "I beat you." She said, yes, you did. I said, do you belong to one of those women lib groups? She said, yes, I do. I said, isn't that the organization that tells women to stand on their own 2 feet? She said, yes, it is. I said, good, you're standing on your own 2 feet till this plane gets here. Shouldn't have said it, but I did. Got on the plane, get an aisle seat all the time, leg room, be able to get up. Guy in the window seat, shaking like a leaf, white as a ghost. I said, sir, you okay? Oh, I'm scared to death. I said, why? Scared of flying. And I said, hey, you want the stewardess? I'll get the stewardess for you. No, I'm fine. But, he was shaking. I said to him, don't you realize every year in this country, there's more train crashes than plane crashes? He said, no way. I said, yes, every year in the United States of America, there's more train crashes than plane crashes. I said, didn't you read in the paper 2 weeks ago in San Diego, California, a train crash? He said, no, I didn't read about that. I said, yeah, a couple of people got hurt. He asked me, how did that happen? I said, I had to tell him, well, a plane landed on top of it, so. Then I started to always sleep, sound asleep. Guy came down the aisle, banged me on the shoulder, woke me up. I'm upset. I looked up, and he asked me the stupidest question I've ever been asked in my life. Are you reading that newspaper that you're sitting on? I don't know if you boys or girls have ever been asked, is that the stupidest question you ever heard in your life? I told him I was. And I did something really stupid. I stood up and turned the page and sat back down. Life on the road is not easy. But anyway, I've told this story a few times, and when you have in-house visits, I don't know you guys, the girls. I hope some of you get that opportunity to have college coaches recruiting you by phone calls or in-house or see you at the games. But we had to do a lot of in-house visits in my career, especially to kids who are in high traffic recruiting, which means everybody wants them. So I was at homes all the time. I can still remember Tampa, Florida, many years ago, in a home of a shortstop. Miami, Florida, Florida State, Georgia, LSU, Texas, everybody wanted this kid. And so I had to get in the home and talk about Mississippi State and present the best I could. I can still remember the boy was sitting right here like this boy here, and Mom was here, and Dad was here, and Grandma was right to my right, and she had to be about 95 years old. And they all had good questions. We had a good give and take and going back and forth. Grandma hadn't said a thing, and I love peanuts, and I'm eating these peanuts in a bowl in front of me as I talk, and all of a sudden I ate every peanut. There wasn't a peanut left. And I looked to my right, and Grandma looked very concerned. I said to her, ma'am, were these your peanuts? She said, I am so sorry. Never forget what she said. Oh, don't mind, son. She called me son. Ever since I lost my teeth, all I've been able to do is suck the chocolate of the peanuts and put them in that bowl. I got a lot of stories about recruiting. Coach mentioned that I got more wins than any other coach in the SEC, men and women. What he didn't say, I have also more losses than any other coach. And the reason is baseball plays more games than any other sport. Softball plays the same number. We play 56 and we play tournaments. Nick Saban, who won a national championship at Alabama, coaches 12 games a year. Someone in our office figured out he'd have to win 12 games a year until he's 274 years old to have as many wins as I had. We just happen to play a sport that plays a lot of games. And so I tell you that, but also I want to let you know, and I think Mike knows and Kevin knows and Roger knows because they've been involved with me, I also led the league every year in getting thrown out of games, SEC. Now, you say, why? Did you cuss? No, don't cuss. Did I bump an umpire? No, never bumped an umpire. I didn't allow our players to ever say a word to an umpire. I took the brunt of the punishment. So I was always saying the wrong thing. And after every game, and I know a lot of you people probably have seen Mississippi State baseball, big crowds, and the fans after the game, if I'm going up to the press box for the radio show, would ask me, what'd you say? Because no one knows. Why'd you get thrown out? Players ask me, coaches ask me, Jim Ellis, our radio guy, Mississippi State, asked me what happened. Let me just give you some examples how you get your butt thrown out of a ball game, all right? Well, first one, Arkansas. Anybody been to Fayetteville, Arkansas lately? Yeah, beautiful. Bomb Stadium. We got great facilities in the SEC, and they're the best. And the reason is Benton, Arkansas is right next to Fayetteville, home of Walmart. A lot of rich people in Benton, Arkansas and Fayetteville. You from there? No? Anyway, Bomb Stadium is gorgeous for you guys and girls. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's the best. And we're there, and we're ranked, I think, third in the country. And they're in the top 10. Friday night, play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Normally the weather in Fayetteville is not very good, but thankfully it would be a beautiful night later in the spring. And we're up there in a packed house. I mean, standing room, about 15,000 people to watch the Razorbacks play the Bulldogs. Not a seat to be had. I mean, just every seat was filled with a body. And about the fifth or sixth inning in the game, I kind of thought maybe the guy behind the plate, the umpire, may have graduated from the University of Arkansas. We were having a problem. The strike zone was just all over the place. You guys who pitch or hit, you want some consistency from the first inning to the end of the game. Well, this guy, SEC umpire, was having a bad night. Strike zone was all over the place. So I went out and I got thrown out. I deserved it. And when I did, though, I said to him, "Hey, ump, you just threw me out of the game. Where do you want to go? Look at this place. It's packed. There's not a seat to be had. Where in the world do you want me to go?" He looked me in the eye and said, "Coach Polk, I don't care where you go, but just go someplace where I cannot see you." So I walked over and stood right on top of home plate. So you haven't seen a thing here all night. Got any LSU fans? Huh? Baton Rouge? Yeah, okay. I wouldn't put my hand up if I was you. The most obnoxious, rude, and loud fans in the SEC are in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And sometimes those fans bring their husbands with them. I had a great rivalry with Skip Bergman and then Paul Maneri, and a lot of great games, packed houses all the time. And I remember in the dugout, how many times have you yelled out to the plate umpire, "Where's that last pitch at? Where's that last pitch at? Ump, where was that last pitch at?" This umpire behind the plate in Baton Rouge, packed house, takes his mask off, walks over to my dugout, brings me to the top step, and says to me, "Coach, I don't want to hear one more time, where was that last pitch at?" And then he said to me, "And don't you know you don't end a sentence with a preposition?" Must have been an English major. So I said to him, "All right, where was that last pitch at, knucklehead?" So I got thrown out of that game. I don't know if Mike or Kevin or Roger remember my last year. I got thrown out 3 games in a row in Lexington, Kentucky, playing the Wildcats. I got thrown out Friday night, I got thrown out Saturday night, and I got thrown out exchanging lineup cards on Sunday afternoon. Because the rotation calls for the clockwise. So the guy behind the plate for game 3 was the guy who threw me out. He was umpiring first base the night before. And I gave him the lineup card, and I looked at him and said, "Hey, would you throw me out of this game right now if I called you a crook?" I said, "Coach, you call me a crook, you're gone." I said, "Well, listen, would you throw me out of this game if I just thought you were a crook?" He said, "No, I couldn't do that." And I said to him, "Well, I think you're a crook, that's what." So I got thrown out of that game awful quick. I remember one time coming back to the dugout, and one of the coaches said, "Did you get thrown out?" I said, "Yeah, I got thrown out again." And he said, "What'd you do?" I said, "Well, I just kicked dirt all over home plate." He said, "That's no reason to get thrown out." I said, "Yeah, but the umpire was sweeping the plate at the time. I don't think he appreciated it, but so many things happen." Tennessee, any Vol fans here? Tennessee Vols, been up there many times playing the Vols. You're a Tennessee Vol? Yeah. They got barbershops in Knoxville. What a head of hair he's got, my gosh. All right, so I'm up there, and Coach, I don't know, I think in high school if you get thrown out, you get suspended for a game. I wouldn't have coached many games in the SEC. And because, again, I don't let my players talk to the umpires. Well, anyway, I'm in Tennessee, and I always knew when I went out, I wasn't coming back. I mean, I knew when I wasn't coming back because I give the lineup card to one of the coaches, and they always say, "See you after the game, coach." They knew I wasn't coming back. So in Tennessee, I walked out, knew I wasn't coming back. The plate umpire was having a bad night. And I had my cell phone in my pants, which normally I don't. So I'm walking out, and I felt that my cell phone was in my pocket. And I knew I was going to get thrown out, and sure enough, he did. And when he threw me out, I reached in my pocket and said, "Hey, we just found this cell phone outside the umpire's dressing room on the floor. Did you lose it? Is this your cell phone?" He said to me, "What makes you think it's my cell phone?" I said, "Because it's got 8 missed calls on it, that's why." Final one, I got so many. Auburn, Alabama, any Auburn War Eagles here? Auburn, great school. Butch Thompson, my good friend, just got the baseball job there and got good assistant coaches, and he's going to do a very good job. But unfortunately, he was at Mississippi State, and they lost him, but he's going to be the head coach at Auburn. And anyway, we were at Auburn several years ago, and our fans were great. Many of them traveled with us. And we always had one lady, an older lady, loved our players, loved our boys, never missed a game. And she had what you call a pair of lungs on her. Her voice just radiates through a stadium. And she loved to get on the plate umpire. We're on the road now. She's right behind our dugout. I'm coaching third, first base dugout at Auburn, and she's all over this plate umpire. Nothing bad, quit blinking when the pitch is thrown, or you're stupid, or you're ugly. And it's an SEC umpire. Trained not to even acknowledge anything said in the stadium. And she's on them bad. So finally, during a lull of the game, about the 5th inning, I'm coaching third, and she stands up and cups her hand. I heard her, everybody in the stadium. She said to that plate umpire, "Plate umpire, plate umpire, if you were my husband, I would poison your drink." I couldn't believe she said that. He took that mask off, looked right at her, and said, "Ma'am, if you were my wife, I'd drink it." You coaches, the boys and girls look great. They look like they're disciplined, they're structured and organized, and I'm just glad to be here. And I'm a disciplined guy. I think Mike will tell you, and Kevin will tell you, Roger will tell you, very organized, very structured. And I learned that from my dad. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. Anybody been to Phoenix? It's a beautiful town, but it's hot. My dad was a mail carrier, played minor league ball. This is in the late 50s, 60s. Mail carriers then did not have trucks or cars or carts. You go house to house with that heavy mail sack on your back. And Monday was magazine day in Phoenix. So my dad was always cranky on Monday morning. Now, he was a great guy, but you talk about mean, you talk about tough, you talk about corporal punishment. If me and my brother Bob, who still lives out there, did something wrong, we got hit, we got strapped, we got belted. And I think I became a coach, I think, because discipline's a factor. I'll never forget coming down for breakfast on Monday morning, always concerned about Dad because he had a whole week of carrying mail in the hot sun in Phoenix. On a Monday, first day of the week, magazine, circular day, that bag's going to be very heavy. And Brother Bob came down for breakfast. He was 10 years old, third grade. He was always cranky on Monday morning. So Dad was cranky. Bob was cranky. Didn't like third grade. Didn't like his teacher. I'm 7 years old. I'm in the first grade. And I learned discipline that Monday morning when my dad, tough as nails, asked my brother Bob, now 10 years old, he must have been in a foul mood because he asked him a very simple question. "Bob, what do you want for breakfast this morning?" I'll never forget, my brother Bob said to my dad, "Dad, I'll have some of that damn cereal over there." Let me tell you, I never saw my dad get up out of the chair as quick. He raced around that table and just killed Bob. He drilled him into the floor. Bob is bawling. He's crying. I'm 7 years old. I'm shaking like a leaf. Dad finished Bob, slowly walked back, sat down, looked at me, 7 years old. "Now, Ron, what do you want for breakfast this morning?" And I said to him, "Gee, Dad, I don't know, but I don't want that damn cereal, I'll tell you that." Boys and girls, that's the day I learned discipline. No question about it. You know, there's a boy here tonight who's asked me to make an announcement, and I came up to me and I said, yeah, I'd be happy. Why don't you make the announcement? He said, I don't speak very well in front of people. I'm in front of my team and the softball team and the softball coach and the baseball parents. I mean, would you make this announcement for me? I said, yeah, I'd be happy. What do you want me to tell him? When he told me, I put my arm around him and said, I am so proud of you. I'll be happy to make this announcement. I think this is great. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a young man, and it happened, and I'm going to make it for you. So I'm going to bring this boy up. Drew Morgan, where you at? Put your thing down. Good to see you, Drew. I'm going to take care of you, big guy. All right, hey, I am so proud of you. This is fantastic, and I know everybody's going to be happy for you. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a young man, but this is fantastic. I'm so happy to be able to make this announcement. Last night around 9:30 p.m., Drew achieved puberty. Drew, I'm so sorry. Drew, I apologize. We all know you haven't achieved puberty yet, so hang in there, big guy. I think looking at you guys' faces, I could have used a lot for that particular story. You know, every banquet I go to, not everyone, guys bring their dates, and I think it's great. Bring a girl, it's great. Pre-season banquet. I think it's fantastic that a boy says to his girlfriend, hey, come on, join me here. And most of the time, everybody knows the boy. Sometimes they don't know very much about the girls. So I'm going to have Cameron Lane. Cameron Land, where you at? Is your girl here? Bring her up. Come on. Come on, where you at? Don't worry. I never embarrass anybody, do I, Drew? No. That's all right. We'll wait for you. Come on. Good to see you. Okay. We're going to ask you, Cameron, to introduce her, all right? And so what's her first and last name?
Hannah Hodge.
What?
Hannah Hodge.
Okay. And how old is Hannah?
She's 18.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
And what year in school is Hannah?
2016 she graduated.
Which means a senior?
Yes, sir. Senior.
Okay. Does she have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do they have names?
Yes, sir.
Would you give them to us? This is like doing a radio interview. How you doing? Fine. You know.
There's a lot of them.
How many?
A lot. There's Matthew.
Where's Matthew at?
Right here.
Okay.
Mickey, he's back there. Hayden. She's not here. Erica, she's not here either.
Well, that's nice. Does she have any pets at all? Dogs or cats?
Well, no pets, no.
Okay. Does she date other boys?
I hope not.
All right. I want you to face her, hold her hands, look her in the eye. Look her in the eye, hold hands. Let me ask this question. Do you love this girl?
Yes, sir.
All right, get down on one knee. Look her in the eye. Repeat after me. Will you help me get up?
Help me get up.
Go. You were a little scared, weren't you? A little scared, huh? Yeah. I did that in Waco, Texas. Believe it or not, 2 10th graders got the names for the coach. And I said, Will, you. And before I could say, help me get up, he said, marry me. I said, get your butt up off the floor. 10th grade kid. All right, we're going to try and make some money for the softball and baseball team, and I'm going to bring one of the players up here and see if we can make some money off Chase Barham. Hi, Chase, how are you? All right, here's a story about this boy. He has a hard time attracting girls. I know that. That's what I'm hearing. Has never had a date in his life. You can see why. I bet you were a baby, the mom diapered your face, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, when you were born, instead of the doctor slapping you, he slapped your mom and dad. Is that right? Anyway, he's not a very good-looking guy, and so here's the deal. I want to auction this boy off to any girl that's really homely and just doesn't ever had a date, and we're going to see if we can make some money for the softball baseball team. How about that? Is your mom here tonight?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mom, you cannot bid on this boy. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this boy, and whoever wins the bid, girls, you get a date with him. It's his first date in his lifetime. So let me decide how we're going to start this out with a bidding. Let me look at your face. Turn this way. Back. 20 cents. Let's go with, I think we'll go with 20 cents. All right, girls, here we go. 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Uh-oh. Oh, we got a problem.
I think we do.
Well, I tell you what we're going to do. Let's open up the bidding to the boys. All right, are you guys really hard up for a date? Huh? Right here? Okay. The puberty boy. All right. Get up here. Take his hand. It's going to be in the school newspaper. Real quick, walk him back to his chair. Isn't that sweet? Oh. You're such a nice puberty boy. Now, I don't know that much about Coach Vincent, but I do know a little bit about Coach Larry because I do research before I come. He played his high school baseball at Cleveland High School, was a catcher. He led the nation in pass balls his senior year. I heard you were first-name basis for everybody in the box seats behind home plate. You were chasing down balls you couldn't catch. His mom and dad always attended games right behind home plate, the only time they get to visit his son. Now, did he tell you guys he was a hitter? I did some research. He hit 400 senior year, Cleveland High School. He had 100 his freshman year, 100 his sophomore, junior, and senior, added them up. He tell you he hit line drives in high school? He did, right back to the catcher. He was so bad, he had a nickname on his team. He was nicknamed after a famous Chinese philosopher, Hit One Soon. Now, the reason he was a catcher, he was so slow. You didn't run very well, did you? One day, they had him race a pregnant woman in the outfield. He came in third. Some of you won't get that until you're on the way home tonight, right? So at Cleveland High School, he became a liability on the field, so he became an asset on the bench. He just got it. Just got it. He's a pretty slow kid right here. Pretty slow. But anyway, he got hurt. Remember the time you got hurt doing your thing in the dugout, watching the game? His nickname was a judge. He spent all the time on the bench. His nickname was 20-20. They had to be ahead by 20 or behind by 20 for you get in the game. Anyway, he's in the dugout watching the game, and he was doing his thing. And a ball got by another player and hit him in the nose and broke the index finger in his right hand. Some of these guys and girls are a little slow here. I mean, hey. No, he was a good player. No question about it. And a good person. 10th year here coaching. Coach Vincent, how long have you been coaching here now? 7. That's pretty good. To be in the same school for 10 and 7 years. I'm sure the players appreciate that. Hey, I really appreciate you laughing at my stupid jokes and stories. None of it was true except for the puberty boy. I don't think he likes me anymore. I'm getting bad looks up here. But anyway, hey, before I leave here tonight, believe it or not, I'm going to shake every one of your hands, all the girls, all the boys from 8th grade up, and I want to make sure I do that because this may be the last time I get to see you. As a volunteer coach, which I am right now, I'm not allowed to recruit. I can't watch games on the road. I can't call boys. I can't call coaches. I can't call parents. I can watch games at UAB or visit with families when they come on visits. That's all right, because I was recruiting all my life. I recruit for the Cape Cod team up in Hyannis, but I'm not allowed, so I may never see you guys again, or girls. So I want to make sure before I leave here, I look you in the eye. I'll do every one of you before you leave here tonight, and I just want to make sure that I get some message to you that you may have heard from others, but you can hear from an old coach. I don't work with guys your age. I work with 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, college guys. But I've been around guys your age all my life, camps and clinics, and I know, girls and boys, how tough it is right now in the teenage years. And let me just tell you, parents who are here today, you got to be so proud of the fact that they're healthy, able to play sports, play in a beautiful school, for coaches that care about them, and people that support this program. And you got to be so happy that they're healthy. And also, you know, they look all really, really nice young men and nice young ladies. And it's not easy, as Coach was saying, raising teenage boys and girls in this day and age. There's a lot of distractions. And a lot of these distractions were not their fault. The bad movies, the bad language in the movies that they can see, the internet that has a lot of trash on it, and those types of bad magazines. I mean, the elements were adult-oriented, down and filtering down to these boys and girls, not only here in Hernando, Mississippi, but all over the country. It's not easy. And they have so many more distractions by far than we had when we went to school. It wasn't even close. And the reason is, modern technology is one thing, but so many other things. And I'm going to give you 3 quick analyses of what distractions are all about and tie them in with my appearances every year in the Dominican Republic. I go down there every year during clinics. And those boys have absolutely no distractions whatsoever. First distraction you have, no question about it, even in a great high school like this, you have kids outside this beautiful auditorium that are envious of you all because you're healthy, you're athletes, and I'm sure for the most part, very good students. But these are the kids that kind of don't have a lot of home life, or the parents have really not really looked after them, and they're just wandering around right now, and they're what you call the good timers, the one that say, hey, why are you going to church? Why are you spending your time with your family? Why are you in the library? Why are you studying? Why are you going to school every day? Be a part of our crowd. We're the in crowd. We're having a blast. We go to school, but we don't care. You know, we go to church maybe once at Easter and Christmas, and, you know, we're just having a ball. We're having parties almost every Friday and Saturday night. We want you to be a part of the in crowd. We're just having a blast. Being a high school boy or girl, it's got to be the most fun time in your life, and how can you just be an athlete and a student and a Christian and going to church? I mean, what a boring life you have. Come with us. We're the in crowd. We got alcohol and we have some drugs occasionally, but, you know, good-looking boys and girls, come with us. Be a part of the good crowd. And I just hope that none of you have been attracted to that, because there's so many kids that are now. And it's so unfortunate. You know why? It's going to take you away from the most important years of your life. This high school, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, whether you're 14, 15, 16, 17, or 18, the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years of your life will determine pretty much what you become the rest of your life. Your morals, your resume, how you handle yourself, your Christian walk, your family life, whether you get a scholarship academically or athletically, it's all going to be right here. And what these kids will do is take you away from the most important years of your life. And if any of you are leaning in that direction, and you're going that way, I don't want to see you when you're 20 or 21 in Birmingham, and you come up to me and say, I remember you talking to us at Hernando High School, and I remember you talking about the good timers. And I remember also you said that the most important years of your life are right now. But I listened, but I really didn't. I went with them. And I can't do this, and I can't do that. I wish I could go back to high school now and start all over again. And those people that I thought were my friends, they've left Hernando. I don't have an address for them. I don't have a phone number for them. They left, and what have they left me? Absolutely nothing. I wish I could go back and do this all over again. Guys, this is the one, and girls, this is a one-shot deal, being a high school student athlete. All I'm saying to you is let them go their way. And I travel a lot, and I see these kids wandering up in Cape Cod, liberal Massachusetts, and Hyannis, and they're walking the beach, and they got tattoos and hairdos and, nose rings and lip rings. And I said, where are the parents? Who's caring for these kids? This is the most important years of your life. I feel bad for them, but then I don't. Because what's going to happen, they're going to get to 20 or 21, and they can't do a thing, and they're going to blame the system. They're going to say, the system got me. No, the system didn't get you. You didn't take care of the most important years of your life. When you're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, it's going to set the stage for the rest of your life. You may have heard this from your mom and dad, from your priest, your minister, your coaches, your principals, counselors. Just listen. You're listening to a guy who's been around the block. And I've had some situations where I've lost guys. And I feel bad about it, but again, what am I going to do? I'm just going to preach this over and over again. These are the most important years of your life, and you've got to let those good timers have their life, and you're going to be a very important part of the academic, athletic community here at Hernando High School. Second thing, cell phones, modern technology, internet. Hey, I'm not going to tell you to throw your cell phone away, but let me tell you, my players at UAB, every week they got a new program or something on an iPad or a smartphone or what. I got a pop-up phone. I love it. I don't text. Kevin would tell you, Mike would tell you, Roger, don't text me. Don't text me. I'll look at it, but I ain't texting you back. I'm going to talk to you. I want to hear your voice. I want to ask you questions. So any of you guys ever thinking about texting me, do not text me, all right? I want to talk. And that's important for you to understand that, because nowadays the communication is not as good as it was when we went to school. I don't even do email. People say, how do you survive? I survive very easily. I get a heck of a lot done. Remember many years ago, well, not many years ago, David Bowles, Associate AD, Mississippi State, came in office after Christmas break. He looked depressed and said, David, what's your problem? He looked down and beat. He said, Coach, I got 192 emails to return. I said, I can solve your problem. He said, how? Don't have email. So I'm not in the modern tech, okay, but I live a good life, all right? I'm just saying, with all the things you guys have, I guarantee you, some of you, when you get to my age, you keep working those cell phones like you are, you will not be able to straighten your elbow the rest of your life. It's just stuck. Your neck is stuck, you can't even raise your head up. And your thumbs are so broken with arthritis that you're not going to be able to do anything. And I'm going to come into your nursing home when you're 72 like I am. I'll be 126, and I'll bounce in there and say, hey, how you doing? And you'll say, hey, Coach, I'm doing very well. Can you get me some of that pudding over there? And I'll bounce in there at 126. I'm just saying, guys, that's distractions. Every time you're on there playing games, go ahead and play games for the rest of your teenage years. Go ahead and play all that stuff that you're doing. It's taking you away from the most important things in your life, your family, your church, your athletics, your academics. And I'm not telling you anything you probably haven't heard from your parents. Let me tell you about kids that don't have distractions. Anybody been in the Dominican Republic ever? Go down there every year. Been down there for a mission trip or vacation? Well, they have some great areas on the coast. A lot of poverty. I'm sure you saw it as you came out of the airport. I go down there every year doing clinics. Do you know Dominican shares an island with Haiti? Haiti is the country that had that disastrous earthquake several years ago. They already had a lot of poverty. Now it's really worse. Third world country, both of them. Haiti's on one side of a mountain range, play soccer. That's all the kids do. Haiti, soccer. The other side of the mountain range, Dominican Republic. We call it the DR. All they do is play baseball. 11 million people in Dominican Republic. You know, there's now closing in on 100 Dominican kids in the big leagues. In Austin, I'm sure you've seen a lot of them in spring training. Don't speak very good English, do they? No, not at all. Otherwise, they'd be in colleges all over. We have a Puerto Rican boy. Actually, we had two the last couple of years at UAB. They speak good English, but Dominican boys, they don't teach English in their schools. But I'm saying this because there's over 300 right now in the minor leagues. There's 4 starting shortstops in the big leagues that lived in San Pedro, had 250,000 people. You say, well, how did the Dominicans get so good? There's only 11 million. They're dominating the American National League now. They're dominating the minor leagues. All 30 pro teams have academies down there. They teach them English. They feed them. They board them up. They play baseball all the time. You know why? Never seen a cell phone in a boy's hand down there. All the clinics I've given all over the island. Sugarcane villages in San Domingo, big town, never seen a cell phone. And they don't know it. They never had one. I've seen their houses. You've seen their houses. You can't believe they're called houses. They're shacks. I don't see air conditioning units anywhere. It's hot. So they're outside all day. Because why? It's too hot. Don't have cell phone. Now, if they don't have a cell phone, you think, well, they got TV. You don't see satellite TVs in their houses. You don't see antennas. Very few have TVs. They don't even have bathrooms in most houses. They share a bathroom with the community. And here's the amazing thing. The kids go to school only 3 hours a day in the morning or afternoon. Why? There's no air conditioning in most of the schools. Teachers can't handle it. Students cannot handle it. They're outside playing baseball and practicing every day. That's how you get good at something. If you want to be a violinist, you do it every day. For 12 or 15 hours, you can be darn good. Or a pianist, or a great student. They don't have any distractions whatsoever, but they're always smiling. They're friendly. I enjoy working with them, and they play in the worst conditions you can imagine. Now, the 30 academies run by the big leagues, that's oases. Those are beautiful. Sugarcane villages. I mean, the fields are atrocious. I remember one time going up, and I was leading this group, and we had about 300 kids out there, you know, from 6 years old all the way up to 18. Some had shoes, some didn't. They shared gloves. A baseball to them is like a Cadillac. The outfield grass had to be up to my knees and higher. And there were goats all over the place in the outfield where we were going to have a clinic. Front page of Score International, me, and the head coach of Michigan, Rich Maloney. Picture was taken, pulling the goats off the field. They had little ropes around their neck. Goats don't like to move when you pull them. And we're yanking. Can't have a clinic, there's goats. So I'm yanking. Picture was taken. And a coach came up to me and through the interpreter. I always have to interpret because they don't speak English. And asked me to please leave their goats alone. And I said, hey, would you tell him we got to have a clinic? Can't have a clinic with goats all over the place. And he said, Coach, he just told me to tell you, please leave his goats alone. That's his lawnmower. That's how he's getting the grass cut. Never seen a lawnmower down there in most of the places I've been. So extreme poverty. Bullpens, forget it. Flat mounds with a piece of cloth for the pitching rubber. Bases move. I mean, they're not Hollywood bases. The dirt is terrible. Backstops almost non-existent. I mean, bathrooms, I still remember one time, I mean, I'm giving a clinic to all these kids, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I asked the translator, would you ask one of these kids where Coach Polk can go to the bathroom? And the kid answered, anywhere. Trees, wherever. I mean, that's what life is all about. But they know no better. They're always smiling. Wouldn't it be great if you did that? Just play baseball all day? I'd say in 20 years, you watch American National League line up, be Puerto Rican, Venezuelans. When Cuba opens up, I've been down there 3 times with international teams in Dominican. We're going to become pretty much a Latin sport. Because why? They don't have the distractions that our boys and girls have. So I'm throwing that out at you just to understand. Distractions can take you away from very important things in your life. All right, another thing. These boys and girls right now, by far, are better athletes than when we played sports. Whether you're in the 50s, 60s, 70s, I don't know. Bigger, stronger, faster, quicker. Softball pitchers throwing harder, hitting the ball farther. Boys the same thing, running faster, more dunks, everything. These kids are bigger and stronger and faster, but they got so many more distractions than we had. If you don't agree with me in that, I got so many stories. Let me just give you 2. How big and strong these kids are now. Kids throwing 92, 93 now that never had happened in college. Anybody old enough to remember the first Tarzan of the movies, Johnny Weissmuller? Some of them nodding their head. You guys know what Tarzan is? You ever heard it? Tarzan flew through the vines in the forest. Wife was Jane, right? Chimpanzee was Cheetah. That's what we grew up with, Tarzan. That was the big thing, movie. There were 7 Tarzans. Johnny Weissmuller was the first. What people don't realize, he was also an Olympic swimmer. 1936, Berlin, Germany, Olympics. You think ESPN was there? No. Fox Sports? No. Very few pictures taken. But everybody there said this: what a good-looking athlete. Johnny Weissmuller broke every record known to man in the swimming pool in the Olympics. Every event. Broke them, shattered them. And he looked like something out of a big muscle magazine. I mean, broad shoulders and, just solid. And he swam through the water, unbelievable, from every report we had. And he broke every record known to man. And when he came out of the pools, what pictures were taken, they took pictures of him because they said, wow, look at the size of that guy. Look at his muscles, they ripple. And when he won all those medals, he came back to the States. And the directors and producers of the first Tarzan said, that's him. That is Tarzan. And he was the first of 7. Now, what people don't realize is when the reporters saw what he did in the pool, all of them said the same thing. Nobody will ever swim faster than Johnny Weissmuller. No one will swim faster than Tarzan. Those records will never, ever be broken. They'll last forever. You know, today, 11-year-old girls swim faster than Johnny Weissmuller, Tarzan. 11-year-old girls. These kids are bigger, stronger, and faster and quicker. Alabama just won another national title. And I live in Birmingham now, and that's all I hear. Alabama Auburn, as you can imagine. Let me just tell you this. How many of you guys play football? Raise your hand. About 15, 20%. Everyone thinks Nick Saban's been there forever. Bear Bryant started the whole thing. 1966 was the head coach. They went 11-0 and won the Sugar Bowl. Listen to this. They had 135 players in the Alabama Crimson Tide football team. Only 14 weighed more than 200 pounds. The heaviest player weighed 213. The linemen averaged 187 on both sides of the football. Today, 40% of the linemen in Division I football weigh over 300 pounds. You wonder why we have more concussions now? Today, NFL. Well, in 1980, NFL had one player top 300. This past year, 370 NFL players weighed over 300 pounds. Don't tell me they're not bigger or stronger, but they have distractions. And it's unfortunate. We got to, as parents and people who care about them, make sure the good timers don't get a hold of them. We love them too much to have that happen. Make sure that the internet and all that stuff is controlled as best you can. And get them outside the house occasionally and let them do things that, they need to do as they grow up. Now, season started. Who do you play next? Harrison Central. Pat Olney, the coach there, was a graduate assistant with me and at Mississippi State. The game, will the scoreboard be on? Will it be home or on the road? They have a scoreboard there? They do. Great. They have a scoreboard, guys. Girls, who you play next, girls? Who? Will they have a scoreboard on? Oh, great. Isn't that great? The scoreboard's going to be on. You got to have a scoreboard, right? You can't play a game and not have a scoreboard. You're not going to finish in a tie unless what happens? Rain, lights go out, curfew, I don't know. The scoreboard's going to be on. Don't make it your God. Never been mine. All the years I've coached, I had the greatest thrill always at the end of a game. Walk across the field and shake the hands of the losing coach. I thought that was great. I thought that was fun. But at the same time, I think our players would tell you I had pretty much an even keel because it was not my God. Don't make it yours. You have to have a winner and a loser. Wouldn't it be nice if you just played to have fun? Wouldn't it be nice if the umpire said play ball against an umpire who said work ball when he starts the game? Play ball. It's supposed to be fun. Parents, let's let them have fun. Let's let the coaches coach. Let them enjoy it. They're not professional athletes, certainly not. Austin is. They're not playing right now on scholarship. Let's have fun and enjoy it. Work hard, respect the game, respect your coaches, and see what happens. See if you win every game. Wouldn't it be interesting? Let's say LSU's playing Mississippi State, 3-game series in Starkville, Mississippi, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I called Paul Maneri or Skip Bertman because Thursdays everybody has to practice or will practice at the site of an SEC team for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You have to open up at least a 2-hour window. Wouldn't it be interesting if I called Skip Bertman and said, Skip, you going to practice Thursday night? We'll set the field up for you. He says, yes, we're going to practice. I said, let's do this. Why don't you bring your team up Thursday night instead of practicing? Let's have some of our guys and your guys play a game without a scoreboard on. Let's just have fun. Let's have your LSU Tigers play our Bulldogs, and let's just have fun tonight. What, you think anybody's going to show up? You think Jim Ellis is going to show up and do the radio? And no scoreboard on. You can't do that. You have to have a scoreboard. But just understand, guys and girls, enjoy it. You're not professionals yet. Last month I was with David Price. Austin, you know David, Boston Red Sox, just signed a $217 million contract with the Red Sox. Is the game fun to him? Sure. It's a business there, right? 217. Well, the amazing thing, his agent is one of my guys, Bo McInnes, Roger knows. I made Bo a lot of money with the USA team and the first-round draft picks, but he's done very well. And I was going to be with him at a banquet in Nashville. David spoke, did a great job. I've known him pitched at Vanderbilt, pitched against us. I've known David since he was at Vanderbilt, and Bo was, I know very well. I told Bo, let's sit together after David speaks. But I knew I was going to be with David Price, and so I had one of the players at UAB, Kyle Davis, very bright guy, do some research. I always like to do research. I said, Kyle, do me a favor. I'm going to be with David Price tomorrow. You know, he just signed that big contract. Would you look back in his career, signed with Tampa, went to Toronto and Detroit, and now with the Red Sox, and tell me if he pitches the same number of innings this year as he did the last 5 years, and also they keep track of the number of pitches. Tell me what David, if he does everything he's done the last 5 years, how many pitches will he throw in this season with the Red Sox? And then divide that into his contract for this year. And tell me how much money is David going to make every pitch this year? He said, I can do that. Easy. Wikipedia, Google, whatever. How many pitches, divided in the contract. Came in the next day. I got it. I said, what is it? $9,000 a pitch. That's not a batter. That's not an inning. That's a pitch. Bo, my guy, gets 5% of that. So I told Bo, we just had it figured out by one of my players. Your boy, David, makes $9,000 a pitch. He said, I didn't know that. I knew it was a lot. Bo, it's $9,000 a pitch. You getting 5% still? Yeah. You get $450 every pitch. Are you going to watch him pitch in Fenway Park opening game? He said, yeah. Don't you hope the guy who gets up first against David goes 3-2? And then fouls off 10 pitches? Let him hit a 3-run home run. Who cares? $450, the agent. That's not a game anymore. That's a business. These kids are enjoying, hopefully, playing a game. This boy, he stands at the plate, his heart's pounding fast, the bases are loaded, the die has been cast. Mom and Dad can't help this boy, it can be girl. He stands all alone. A hit at this moment would send his team home. The ball meets the plate, and he swings and he misses. There's a groan from the crowd with some boos and some hisses, and a thoughtless voice cries out, strike out the bum. Tears fill the boy's eyes. The game is no longer fun. So open your heart and give him a break, for it's moments like this a man you can make. Keep this in mind when you hear someone forget. He's still just a boy and not a man yet. That can apply to girls also. I've been to too many games. I've been embarrassed for the boys. I haven't been to too many softball games, but, I mean, the parents and cousins and aunts on the kids. I don't even know what happens in the car by the dad when he takes the boy home when he went 0 for 4 or struck out 4 times. All I know, be happy that they're healthy. Be happy they're playing baseball and softball at Hernando High School. Baseball is still a game. All right, I'm going to finish up, boys and girls, and just tell you 4 quick stories. And when you leave here tonight, I'm going to shake your hand. Now, some of you, again, I don't know you. I'll never see you again. Some of you might be struggling a little bit with family. Some may be struggling with boyfriend and girlfriend. Some may be struggling in athletics, not getting to play enough, not working hard. Some may be struggling in school, not paying attention. Some may be struggling with the good timers taking you away. Some are struggling with too many games and videos, too much internet, too much that. I don't know any one of you guys and girls. All I know is, let me listen to these 4 stories, because this is a time maybe I help one boy or one girl here tonight. So when I get that car and I go 3.5 hours, don't feel bad for me, to Birmingham, I'm going to feel like maybe I made a difference in someone's life, because maybe you've heard somewhat of these stories, but maybe you're just hearing it from someone else who cares about you, even though I don't know you. I'd like to say I love you. I don't know you. But I want to make sure before I leave here, since it'll be the last time I'll probably ever see any of you again, and I shake your hand, I want you to be able to say to yourself, hey, that old man came all this way to speak to me, and he made sense. Because I'm struggling right now in some aspects of my life. Being a teenage boy and girl, as I said, is not easy, especially in this day and age with all the distractions. If I gave you these 4 quick stories and you listened to them, some of you are living a great life right now. Some are struggling in some aspect. You listen to these 4 stories, there's no question when you walk out of this beautiful performing arts auditorium that possibly your life could possibly change. And if I could help that, I'm here. That's what I'm here for. First one I want to talk about is having faith. I'm a believer. I'm not a preacher at all, but let me just tell you a real quick story. A boy named Billy, Columbus, Ohio, played in the high school baseball team. This was one of the best high school baseball programs in the state of Ohio. He was a senior. He was named captain of his team. Now, Mike and Kevin and Roger can tell you, I always had co-captains. I didn't pick them. Coaches weren't allowed to vote. Players. Who's your leader? Who's coming up to home plate to exchange lineup cards with me? I think we're the only school ever that did that. But always brought a co-captain up with me. Who's going to be at the press conferences? Who's going to be, when we go to a Bulldog Club meeting, an alumni meeting, welcome everybody. I mean, who's your leaders? And normally they were seniors, some juniors, very seldom a sophomore. In almost all cases, they were players that had good seasons the year before, or good career, hitting, pitching, defending. Generally, a senior was a good player. Well, this boy, Billy, was picked a captain, not a co-captain, of his best high school team in Ohio his senior year. And guys and girls, he never started a game in 4 years. Why? Wasn't that good. But never missed a practice. Always there. How can a guy be picked captain of a great high school team and never started a game? It's very simple. Straight A student. Christian. Yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Always at practice. Always had a smile on his face. Never down. Top row, top step, always in the game. Always patting guys in the back. Guys who were struggling, picked them up. He was their leader. Very unusual, but that was Billy. Tuesday, practice. Friday, big game, rivalry game. This practice came to a complete stop. Over the first base dugout, there was a big hill. And on the hill was the principal's office. They saw the assistant principal, a lady, coming down the hill in high heels and almost falling. She was almost sprinting. So they stopped because they knew something bad has just happened. A tragedy has occurred. She's not coming down that hill in high heels unless somebody has a problem on this team. So they quickly went to the mound and just gathered together. And the head coach quickly went to the dugout and met that lady, the assistant principal. They saw their head coach put his head down and started walking to the mound. They knew something bad had just happened. He pulls Billy out, puts his arm around him, walks him back to the dugout. His teammates see Billy go up the hill with that lady. Coach walked back to the mound and said, gather together, guys. Billy's dad has just passed away. Now, I've had dads and moms pass away, but mostly grandparents because of the age difference. But how sad. And the kids were just crushed. And they did a prayer. And they practiced. It wasn't a good practice. Wednesday practice, Thursday practice. They went to the funeral, the whole team and the coaching staff at Billy's dad's funeral to show his respect for his dad and Billy. Friday's a game, and Billy's there early. He wanted to talk to the head coach to thank him for being at the funeral with all his buddies. And, Coach, I got a question. He said, a favor. Can you play me today? Can you get me in the game? Can you start me today, maybe? And Coach said, well, my lineup card's already made out, but yeah. He knew the situation. Yeah, Billy, I'm going to put you in left field, and we'll make an adjustment. I can change the lineup card. And so he played. He didn't play well, but they won. Played the whole game. Game's over, and everybody's leaving, and Billy stayed around. He wanted to thank his head coach. And he went up to him and said, Coach, not only do I thank you for being at my funeral with my teammates, but thank you for letting me play today. And Coach said, why was it so important, Billy? He said, well, you didn't know. I didn't tell you or the coaches or my teammates. I didn't play very much, as you know. And my mom and dad never missed a home game. They loved me. Never missed a home game. But you didn't know that my mom had to help my dad get into the seats because my dad is a diabetic since I was born. Coach, my dad's been blind since my birth, and today was the first day my dad got to see me play in a baseball game. Now, wouldn't it be nice if all you boys and girls had that much faith? Tomorrow's a new day at Hernando High School. Bigger walk, bigger smile, big encourager, making a difference in other people's lives. Wouldn't it be nice if they all had that faith? Second, quick, the other three stories are very quick. I know for a fact, some of you guys have good days and bad days, right? Teenagers, good hair day, bad hair day. Good mom day, bad mom day. Good dad day, bad dad day. Bad coach day, good coach day. Oh, hey, isn't that right, parents? Yeah, everyone's not sure. Well, you all too. I mean, I try to keep that even keel, but I fail. Hey, up and down. Wouldn't it be nice if these boys and girls had bad days, but all of a sudden they get up on Monday morning in their bad mood, and all of a sudden they had a capability of getting back up and just putting a smile on their face. And they're a changed man and a changed lady. Or had a whistle and just blew it when things aren't going good. Bad at bat, bad pitch, right? Bad girlfriend day, bad boyfriend day. Wouldn't it be nice if you all had a mechanism where something started out bad, but you blew a whistle, let's say, and all of a sudden, bang, you're back up. This Russian many years ago, when Russia was more of a dictatorship than now, big billionaire, auto parts guy, was dealing in this Midwestern factory, going to buy some auto parts, bring them back to Moscow. They're on a balcony. 500 or so workers are working. They'd work in a deal with translators, and all of a sudden the lunch whistle goes off at noon, and when it whistled, it shrilled through the factory. And the doors opened, and everybody got up and started walking out to go to lunch. The Russian said to his host, through the translator, "Stop, your workers are escaping, bolt the doors. Your workers are escaping." And the host said, "No, they'll be back in 45 minutes. Same whistle blew, and they all came back and started working. The Russian was still dealing in auto parts, but the Russian finished it up and said, "Hey, I'll buy as much as you want, but listen, I got to buy as many of those whistles as I can and bring them back to Russia with me." Wouldn't it be nice, boys and girls, you had a whistle? Coaches, wouldn't it be good if they had that? Third thing, I've given you faith, Billy. Whistle never have a bad day. Wouldn't that be super? How about wanting to be the player at Hernando High School? Who's a shortstop here for this team? Starting shortstop. You both sick? Are you the starting shortstop on the freshman team or what? You raise your hand? You in 8th grade? 8th grade. Do you want to be the shortstop at Hernando High School eventually? You don't want to be a shortstop. You want to be the shortstop, right? I'm just saying, why don't you guys want to be the student in English, right, and a student? Why don't you be the son or the brother? If I have heart problems, you think I'm going to go in Birmingham and ask for a heart doctor? Who's the heart doctor in Birmingham? If you people have money to invest, you're going to ask for an investment counselor or the investment counselor. Why don't you want to be the best? God does not mind that to happen. Some of you guys' work ethics and girls' work ethics may not be what you need to have. The ability to be the best in whatever you do, in school, in life. Another quick story, downtown Manhattan. I don't know if any of you boys or girls have been in Manhattan. They have taller buildings than Hernando, Mississippi has. And tall to the point of 7-year-old with mom and dad, can't even see the top of them. And he said to Mom and Dad, whoever built these buildings has got to be a multi-billionaire. And 3 or 4 were on one side, and 2 on this side, and 1 was going up. About halfway finished. Trailer was there. Boy said to Mom and Dad, well, maybe the person who owns these buildings is here, this trailer. They said, no. But they said, we'll see if he is. And he was. He came out, was so nice to this 7-year-old boy. Said he had a meeting to go to, but he said, son, I answer a couple questions. 7-year-old question, number 1. How rich are you? I said, well, big guy, I'm doing pretty good. I got this block in it, and these are my buildings. Second question, have you always been rich? Man said, son, good question. No. Look at my workers. I love them. I was a worker. I was a construction guy many years ago. And the little boy said, what happened? I said, very simple. I came early every day. I stayed later than anybody else. I didn't take as big a lunch hour as everybody else. I outworked everybody, but I knew I was going to do it, but I wanted to be noticed. Now, look at my workers now. I love them again. I love them to death, but they have gray shirts, black shirts, white shirts, blue shirts. I wore the brightest red shirt every day. I wanted to get noticed. I was different. And because of that, people noticed. Became a foreman, became a superintendent, became a project engineer, invested my money, got to the right people. We opened up some shopping centers, got enough money to start this block, downtown Manhattan. It all started when I made a decision. I'm not going to be a worker. I'm going to be the worker. Now's the time to get that done, boys and girls, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. If you want to get to the point of life being real good to you. So what do I give you now? Faith of Billy? Wouldn't it be great? Never have a bad day, have a whistle. And you're a red shirt. You're the front row in geography class tomorrow, and the teacher said, who are you? Be something special. The final thing is, we need some difference makers in your age, guys, girls. We need people who want to make a difference, not only in your lives, but other people's lives. I want people to go up to Coach Lara and Coach Vincent and say, in their office, how you doing today? Rather than, hey, I have a problem. Anybody ever went up to you and said, hey, Coach, thanks for having practice today? No. Thanks for having practice today. You're probably saying, oh, it's going to be a bad practice. Hey, make a difference in people's lives. Final story. Little boy downtown, South Beach, Miami. I coached the University of Miami, assistant coach, Miami-Dade, been down there 4 years. I've been in 9 different colleges, never been fired, though, thankfully. South Beach. Anybody been to South Beach? Beautiful. You been there? White sand, hot, right? Humid. You remember the starfish down there? Starfish flood South Beach. Little fish. It's not a fish. It doesn't swim. It just glides in the water. They're so cute. What South Beach is known for is the beach and how hot it is. You have to wear something on your shoes or on your feet. Otherwise, you're going to burn your feet. These starfish get washed ashore everywhere, all over. They come in the tide, and when the tide goes out, they get on top and ride out and ride in and ride out. But some of them miss the bus occasionally, which means they came in too far, the water went out, and now they're stuck. In the heat of the day, they die. The little ones especially, they're not strong. The older ones, you know what they do? They're smart enough and strong enough to go down and dig in the sand and get low enough that the sun doesn't hit them. And they listen. When they hear the water come back out, in, they ride up and get on the water and ride out for another day. The little ones can't do that. They can't move. They're stuck. And they're dying all the time. I mean, little ones all over the place. This little boy knows that. And he's throwing starfish back in the water. Not the big ones, the little ones, left and right. At least they're going to last another day. And this old man saw him do it, came down and said, son, what are you doing? Please help me. Please, we got to get the little ones in. Not leave the big ones alone. They'll be all right. Help me. We got everyone we can throw in the water is going to live another day. And that man said to that little boy, son, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the boy said, why? Why? He said, look at South Beach. It's miles and miles long. There's probably hundreds and thousands of little starfish. Big guy, what difference are you making? And that boy then said to himself, I'll show him. I picked up that next little starfish, shoved it right in front of that man's nose, and threw that starfish in the water and said, sir, I'm making one big difference to this little starfish. Boys and girls, a pat in the back tomorrow to someone at Hernando High School nobody cares about. maybe a girl that's not very pretty or a boy that just kind of been bullied a little bit, go up to mom and say, I love you. Dad, I love you. Make a difference maker in baseball. Guys in a slump or guys, just not doing well, just pat them on the back and give them encouragement. Always thinking, how can I help somebody else? Make a difference in someone's life. Now, parents, what have I just given your girls and boys? Faith, Billy, a red shirt, outwork everybody, whistle, never have a bad day, and you're a difference maker. How great would that be? And some of you are not in that realm yet, or not there, or fading. We don't want that to happen. We do not want that. We don't want you to crash. I don't want you to crash even though I don't know you. Two lights converge in the open sea on the deck of one ship, a message sent. We're in a collision course, adjust your course 10 degrees north. The reply came back, collision course is confirmed, adjust your course 10 degrees south. Irritated captain sent a second message. I am a captain, adjust your course 10 degrees north. Reply came back, I'm just a second-class seaman, but you better adjust your course 10 degrees south. Now the captain said, I am a destroyer. Adjust your course 10 degrees north. Reply came back, I'm a lighthouse. I think you better adjust your course 10 degrees south. We don't want any of you boys to crash. We want you to lead a good life. Now's the time to change, not when you're my age, not when your parents' age. Now's the time. Now is the time. And when you leave this room tonight, I want to shake first the girls' hands first, and I'm going to get the boys right after. I don't want anybody escaping here from the side door. If I do, I'll run you down and kill you. 8th graders may go first, possibly. Won't take that much time. But, I didn't come here to sell books. They're there and bring it up, and it doesn't take me. Everything's signed, best wishes over. I can sign your name quick. I'm going to shake your hand. Now, here's the deal. If something I said tonight hit home, you've heard stories like this before. You're struggling maybe in some aspect of your life, your church, your family, athletics, you're just not setting goals, your values are not good, your morals are not great. If I did something for you tonight that may have helped you for a day, a week, a year, look me in the eye as I shake your hand. I may ask you your name, how old you are, possibly what position you play. If I said something tonight for either boys or the girls that you say to yourself, I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear those 4 stories and only one really hit home. You look at me in the eye and you say to me 2 words, I understand. I understand. You know what that's going to make me feel? I just threw a starfish maybe back in the water for that boy or that girl. May not last long, maybe just tonight, tomorrow another story. But I threw a starfish back in the water for that boy or that girl. Now, if you look me in the eye and you don't say, I understand, I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to slap you. I may ask you to get a haircut, but no, I'm only kidding. No, you know what I'm going to say to you? Congratulations, you're going to church. Every Sunday, Wednesday night, you're a Christian, you have faith. You never have a bad day. You got a red shirt, you outwork everybody in everything you do, and you make a difference in people's lives. Wouldn't that be great? I'm going to say, hey, a perfect child is in front of me. Perfect boy, a perfect girl. But don't feel like you have to say, I understand. If you don't say, I understand, and I'm not going to get involved in what you understand and, talk about anything in your life, all I'm going to say to myself, hey, my time here has been really good for one boy or one girl. And that's what it's all about. That's why I'm here. Good luck the rest of the season. Stay healthy. Take care of them. Look after them. Try to eliminate distractions. Keep the good timers away from them. And thank you very much for eye contact. The boys and girls have been great. And I look forward to seeing you at the door. Thank you.